evening. Welcome back to the Mindful Model Maker. As I promised, I said that I would make this motor cruiser, which is advertised as being power driven and actually speeds under its own power. According to the description here, it says it runs for upwards of 1 hour on a few drops of methylated spirits. Well, we don't know about that. Obviously, there were different laws in them days about what you could say a thing did. So nowadays, you can't say something does something if it doesn't. But so anyway, there we are. But that's what it says. And of course, I suspect that was why many people bought this, because they read that and you think, oh, that's going to be good. Now, I just wanted to show you the two bits together. This is the original. I don't want to cut the original up. And this is the photocopy next to it. It's a little bit lighter, a little bit more washed out, but not a lot of difference really when you think about it. So I'll put that back there and you can see. So there's not a great deal of difference, okay? A little bit more vibrant, the original, but I don't want to destroy that. I don't know how many of these there's around, but I'd like to keep it in case I want to make another one or whatever. So now all I did to start with was just photocopied it. This is ordinary standard photocopy paper. Nothing spectacular, nothing expensive, just an ordinary, comes out of an ordinary ream of paper that you would buy for your printer. So what I've done, because it won't fit on one A4 sheet, so I've got two. I printed one bit on and another bit. So you can see two parts of it are duplicated, but it doesn't really matter. I've got spares then if I need spares, or if I want to practice on one bit, I can do so. And you can do this as well. Then the next stage was to use my gloss varnish, which I bought on eBay. Now, the reason for this is before you glue it, is because this will penetrate into the paper and seal it. Because if it gets wet when it's just a photocopy, the ink will run. And also, when you put the glue on, because if it's not sealed, some of the glue may penetrate up through the paper. As you want to make it quite wet when you put it on to make sure that it sticks. You don't want to use, I don't know what thickness this card is, but it's not very thick. I'm going to try it on that because I've made mistakes in the past where I put it on a thick card and then find that it doesn't do a lot of the things, or it doesn't do it easily. Because the good thing about card, even if you use a thin card, you can stiffen it. You can buy things out there like stopping and things like that that you can paint on and make it go harder. The varnish will make it go harder. As in the locos that I built before, once they've had 2 or 3 coats of varnish, they will start to stiffen up. All right, this has had varnish on it, but it's quite a heavy spray. Hasn't made it shiny or anything, but what it has done, it's soaked into the paper, which is what I wanted it to do. I've tried before to glue it on the paper first and then spray it, and that's not very successful because by then some of the glue may have made the colours run. So I didn't want that to happen. So just to give you the benefit of the fact that I've done this before, that's what I do. So I cut it, then I take it outside and I give it a few sprays, say 3 coats of it, just on one side, just on the actual printed side. Don't bother about the rest because it does penetrate through and you can feel the kind of stiffness in it after you've done that. Obviously it needs to be waterproofed at some point, but the varnish will do that, is because obviously it's going to float on water. So, but we'll come to that. The instructions, I'll go back to the original. I printed them off separate, so they're actually on the back, and you can see that. And they're a little bit different to the normal micro model. So this is a micro craft. I think there was some association between the two. I'm not really sure. I don't know, but there's a lot of stuff out there if you want to read about the different companies. I'm only interested in making the models, really. But I think they were associated with each other somewhere along the line. So it's very similar. It's bigger. It's not in scale with the other stuff, but it's not supposed to. It's a different thing. So this is what I do next. So next I get a mix of just a cheap, this is a Hobbycraft one, PVA, and I water it down a bit until it's kind of reasonably, don't want it too wet, you want some of the adhesive in it, because otherwise it's going to not stick. I've tried cheap Pritt sticks in the past, and trust me, they don't work. What happens, they stick it down when you put it on, but later on when it dries, you'll find that if you kind of try bending the card, the top surface of the actual printed paper that you put on starts coming off. So whether it's because it's a cheap Pritt stick, I haven't used a dear one, but I just found that this PVA is brilliant stuff to use. So I water it down. It's not too runny, you don't want it too wet because you want it to stick. So it's got to have a little bit of the actual adhesive left in it. So this is what I've found is best, but it's up to you what you use. You know, I wouldn't go and use the proper paper glues or anything like that, like your Rocket card glue, because by the time you've smothered an area of this bit, a lot of it would go off, and you need something that you can brush out. So this lends itself to brushing out. So look over it to make sure you haven't missed any. I think I'll put it on quite liberally. Then turn it over, put it on, make sure all the area that you want is on the paper backing. Try and peel it up because you've got to try and flatten this out a little bit. So I'm just going to roll it using a card tube. You can use what you want really, but I think that's gone on there okay. Like so. It's not rocket science this. So you don't need any special skills, bit of patience, that's about it. And just put it out on there. You want to get it as flat and as you can. If there are little wrinkles in it, get them out because, all right, that's not too worrying there. Just make sure there's nothing on the actual areas that are going to be a part of the boat. That's all I would say. So that's gone on there quite nice. Now, just going back to what you would do with that now is I just put a few books on it. So I'm just going to move that over here, put a couple of books on it, and then leave that to dry, which I'll leave it till tomorrow. I shan't touch it anymore. Right, then I'll take another piece of the card, which I should have here. Like I say, it's not very thick. I don't know what its actual weight is because, as you know, paper is kind of given a weight. It's nothing expensive. It's just an ordinary paper. And then the second sheet. So hopefully you won't fall asleep while I bore you by doing this. But it is quite crucial to get this right. You can see it's a little bit thicker there in places, but you can just brush it out. If there's any lumps of anything around, make sure they're not there because they will stick between the paper and the card and make a lump that's not going to go away. So you do want it smooth and flat. So this is the next stage. But I thought I'd just show you what I do and explain about the printing. All I did when I put it in the printer, obviously you put it in the scanner bit, and then I just print the copy button that was on there, just colour copy. That's all I did. I didn't do anything else. I'm not really into changing anything. I mean, if you're skilled enough to like run the Photoshop and things and you want to import that into it and manipulate the colours and things, if you're that more skillful, then obviously that's something you can do. But I wanted to just make a copy of the original. So I don't know, this looks reasonably original, so I wouldn't mind betting it is, but I can't say for sure. But the thing I can be sure of, it is a copy anyway, even the one I've done, of the real thing. So that's all that really matters. So we'll just roll that out gently again, across there and across there, and just get the boat. It looks quite interesting, not many parts. I don't think there's anything too difficult. I haven't really had a look, but I mean, when I looked at some of those locos that I've been building early on, I had a look at them and I thought, that looks a little bit hard, but they haven't turned out to be too bad. So there's a few little ridges in that there, but as long as they don't come in to any part, that's just the bit showing you how it goes, so I'm not worried about that. As long as the actual parts that I want for the model are flat and good. Probably the paper stretched a little bit when it was wet with the varnish, because I did put a bit on, but being as this is going to be a boat, I wanted it to be reasonably water resistant, so that seems to have come up okay. Right, I think we will settle for that. That's it. It's going through okay. So I'm going to put that in now. So anyway, I just thought I'd show you this, just a quick video tonight, as to where we've got. And then tomorrow I'll show you what we're going to do next when we start making it. So yeah, there is a bit of preparation, and I think the preparation is worth doing. So print it off, varnish it to seal it, let that dry. That was done last night. And then today I've stuck it onto a backing paper just to give it some thickness. If you want to go thicker with the carb, yeah, you can do so. But remember, you've got to bend, curve and various things. If the card is too thick, you'll find it's very difficult. It's actually easy to make thinner card do what you want than the thicker. But then afterwards, you can then reinforce it. You can glue bits on the inside to reinforce where you may need to reinforce if that's what you want to do. So I would go slightly thinner than what you think, because I've gone thicker and it's proved to not be a good thing. So, you know, you may have success. If you do, well, that's up to you. I'm not saying I know everything about card modelling because I'm pretty new to it. But that's why I put it on the channel, because card modelling, I think, is an art that's been forgotten, and I think it has a lot of uses, and even you can combine it with other things like metals, brasses and things like that. If there's an awkward funny bit, you can make that out of card, and by the time you varnished it, sealed it and all the rest of it, it'll last as long as the rest. So yeah, it's not a thing to be dismissed, and of course it's very cheap as well. We throw card away all the time. We get cards like Christmas cards and all things like that. The back piece of that is usually flat and smooth. Well, there you are. You can stick a piece of this on one of them, on the back of a birthday card, a Christmas card, anything like that. So in a sense, you're recycling. But a lot of that, especially on some cards, is very good quality. And what do we do most times? Throw it away. So there we are. Anyway, I will see you probably tomorrow night in the next video. And if you like this and you want to see how it goes, please subscribe, click the bell, and then every time something comes up, you will see, you'll be able to watch the video and carry on. Okay, this, where I got this from, if you just wanted to know that, it was on eBay. Okay, I forget what I paid for it, not a lot, and it came quite quickly. So there we are. So Microcraft, this is made by. Give it a go. See you in the next video. Thank you. Bye now.